Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
The Arizona Diamondbacks back from a long road trip. Felt like the searchers in a John Wayne movie for a long time, but finally here after the last 10 days, back home at Chase Field for a long homestand against a couple of National League West rivals. It's the Rockies and Diamondbacks tonight, first of four from Chase Field. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way, and it's good to be home here, BB. It was quite a trip. Not only was it 9 games in 10 days on 2 different coasts, but every single game the Diamondbacks had a chance, it seemed, to either tie or take the lead in the 9th inning. Every game was sort of an emotional roller coaster.
And especially after we left New York, starting this long stretch of games against the National League West. There's an old saying in this game, you cannot win a pennant in April, but you certainly can lose one. Hopefully that won't be the case for the D-backs. You see what they did so far on that road trip, 3-3 against the Rockies and Giants. Not bad in those 2 ballparks, especially against that hot Rockies team in Colorado. You see the upcoming games, the Rockies and Giants on this homestand, Padres and Dodgers on the road trip. This is the time to make some hay.
And it's a chance tonight to look at a rematch of a starting pitching matchup we saw over the weekend at Coors Field. Trevor Cahill on the mound tonight for Arizona, and Jorge De La Rosa on the mound for Colorado. Bob, last time we saw De La Rosa at Coors Field, he looked terrific. Why was he so effective?
Well, he was effective because he was changing the strike zone vertically, for my money, throwing a lot of high four-seam fastballs. We're going to look at right here on the videotape. That pitch well up above the belt, up near the letters. It's very tempting. It looks like a good pitch to hit, but he was able to scoot it up just a little bit higher than the D-backs could handle in that game. Made a few mistakes in the middle of the plate. Unfortunately, the offense didn't take advantage, but this is where he really excels. The hard slider, the changeup down at the bottom of the strike zone. I talked to Turner Ward about who gets the advantage when you face the same pitcher twice in 5 days. He felt like the D-backs were going to stick with their game plan against De La Rosa, which was to make him get the ball up, try to lay off that slider and change up down low in the zone.
And a lot of balls in the dirt. It will be a busy night for Yorvi Torrealba. He's behind the plate tonight for the Rockies. First of 4, D-backs and Rockies set to get underway here in just a moment from Chase Field. Back home after the long trip, now set for a long homestand. When we come back, Brad will tell us about the bright spots on the trip. A lot of drama and a lot of good news as well to look at. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball continues right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you in part by the UPS Store. Flyers, business cards, brochures, and more. We can print that. And by Valley Honda Dealers. There's a great deal on every new Honda. Visit your Valley Honda dealer today or online at valleyhondadealers.com.
And welcome back to Chase Field, and welcome back to the D-backs. It has been a while since we've seen Trevor Cahill and his crew around these parts. The D-backs coming off that 10-day, 9-game road trip, a record of 4-5. A little deceiving in the fact they played hard, they played well. The starting pitching was outstanding, and a trio of D-backs really found their offense on this road trip. Talking about Paul Goldschmidt, Didi Gregorius, as well as Cody Ross. The numbers kind of eye-popping right there. On the roadie, Goldie over 300. Ross really found his game, and the new kid, Didi Gregorius, what an outstanding debut he had for the D-backs on the road trip. Goldie knows it is a long season. He says the success will come.
I mean, obviously there was some losses in the road trip, and I mean, you're always going out there trying to win every game, but there was a lot of positives as well. You know, guys played hard. Even a lot of the games we lost, we you know, had some opportunities to make some comebacks, and guys played hard to the final out, and you know, really that's all you can ask for. If we're playing hard every day, then I like our chances to be in this in the race at the end of the year.
That was our quote of the game, brought to you by Geico. Yeah, this team really has been in every game so far this season, very competitive, and Kirk Gibson loves what he's seen so far. Stick around. The first of 4 straight against the West leading Rockies. Didn't we do this just a little while ago? It's the D-backs in Colorado right here on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch, Cahill, De La Rosa. Stephen Bob back with a call.
Arizona night here at Chase Field. The roof is open, the panels are open, and Chase once again open for business as the Diamondbacks get set to start a 4-game series with Walt Weiss's Colorado Rockies, who come in here leading the NL West at 14-7, including 2 of 3 against the Diamondbacks over the weekend at Coors Field. But in both the first 2 games of that series, the D-backs came in the ninth with a chance to extend the game in extra innings, but came up just 1 hit shy. Then on Sunday, they got the win. Here is the lineup tonight for the Colorado Rockies.
Without a doubt, you always have to keep an eye on Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki in the middle of that lineup. Dexter Fowler got off to a red-hot start, especially with the power. And you see no numbers for former Diamondback Ryan Wheeler, just recalled from the minor leagues to take the roster spot of Todd Help.
Arizona Ford Diamondback starting pitcher on the mound for the D-backs tonight is Trevor Cahill, who's had something of a rough go here in 2013. Cahill 0-3 for the first time in his career.
Yeah, he's pitched okay to win, well enough to win some of those games, especially the one start he had against the Dodgers. Went 7 1/3, gave up 6 hits of shutout baseball, didn't walk a man in that game. Just needs to keep that sinker down, let his defense do the work.
Colorado had lost 3 in a row before coming back yesterday at Coors to beat the Braves. Rockies down 5-3 in the 9th, but they got 2 against Craig Kimbrell before winning it in 12 innings, 6-5. Set to go here, first of 4 against the Rockies on a gorgeous night here at Chase Field. Eric Young Jr. steps in. He's in right field tonight, as you see right there on our graphic. And EY Jr. red hot lately, 351 over his last 8. 0-1, we're underway. Last 8 games for EY Jr., 13 for 37, 3 triples, 3 RBIs, 6 runs scored. There you see the numbers. This was Trevor's pitching line on Saturday, and he admitted he was throwing it and really didn't have any idea where it was going. And that's really been the issue with Trevor, Bob, all spring long is the command, the location.
Yeah, and if you're struggling with your command and your release point, Coors Field is not the place to try to get right. A guy that relies on that heavy moving sinker didn't have the same kind of movement that he normally has because of the thin air there in Colorado. That's more like it. That heavy tailing fastball starting on the outer part of the plate, looks like a strike and then just fades off the outside corner and down.
And his stuff, as we've said, moves naturally so much just on its own that oftentimes it's a struggle to get it under control. EY Jr. hard to right, leadoff single for the Rockies. So 1 aboard here to start off the game for the Rockies. Here's the defense behind Trevor Cahill tonight. Cliff Pennington at short and Josh Wilson in there at second. Will Nieves behind the plate.
Heavy right-handed lineup tonight. Only Gerardo Parra out in left field swings from the left side of the plate, just trying to load up on righties against Jorge De La Rosa.
Didi Gregorius not getting the start tonight against the left-hander De La Rosa. Dexter Fowler steps in. Fowler in there at 284, 7 home runs and 12 RBI. He's been extremely streaky this season. First 6 games, Fowler hit everything, 10 for 27 and 4 home runs. Then he cooled off big time. Next 11 games, hit a .152. But now he's hot again. Last 3, he's 6 for 14. Keep a close eye on Eric Young Jr. 2 steals, 3 caught stealing so far this season. Bunt goes foul, and it's 0-2.
You see, that's Dexter Fowler in the batting cage. I can't really tell, but believe me, it is. Rolling balls down the third base line and first base line, seeing how the bunts will react, and he tried to put that one down right there against Trevor Cahill.
He's on pace this season to hit 54 home runs. 54. Yet before the game, he's working on getting a read on the ground in case he wants to bunt for a base hit. 1-2 now.
That's not uncommon to see those guys who run well and bunt as part of their offensive arsenals. Also, it's not uncommon to see the corner infielders and catchers do that, especially the first game of a series in a ballpark. Occasionally, that grounds crew will manicure that foul line one direction or the other to benefit the home team.
84 plate appearances this season. Fowler's OPS, which is on base plus slugging percentage, is over 1,000. And he's on pace for 54 homers already with 7 on the year. Long pause by Cahill and Kerwin Danley behind the plate. Grants time.
We talk about it all the time. Kirk Gibson and his insistence on slowing down the opposition's running game. And EY is a guy you definitely have to pay attention to over there at first base. Doesn't always require a pickoff attempt. Sometimes just holding the ball on the mound will be enough to freeze that runner at first base.
And Gibby has often talked, Bob, about liking offensive players for the Diamondbacks who can put pressure on the opposing team, make them nervous, force them into mistakes, and EY Jr. certainly fits that mold. Another foul ball. We'll do it again, 1-2.
A little frustration on the part of Will Nieves behind home plate. I think he thought he should have caught that foul ball, but there's no way to make an adjustment. You're only sitting a few inches behind the point of contact, and when that batter deflects the ball, you just have to get lucky for it to stay in the glove.
Young does not have a huge lead over there at first, being held on by Goldie. First base side, Goldschmidt. And they turn to Paul Goldschmidt, playing a Gold Glove first base for the Diamondbacks. The defense off to another good start here.
We saw a similar play last week. This time Goldie able to avoid that runner going to second base. Last time he hit him in the back. This time gets the throw to Cliff Pennington. Quick tag at second base, and they get the call.
And the defense is one of the things that has held the Diamondbacks together through all these injuries and all these blown saves and the drama. The defense has been consistent. Carlos Gonzalez now. Cargo will try and bunt one. It goes foul. Gonzalez in there at 320. 4 homers and 12 RBI. He's putting up monster numbers. A 989 OPS. A 402 on base percentage. He's slugging .587.
I'll tell you what, anytime Carlos Gonzalez wants to bunt for a base hit in this ballpark, I say go for it.
Right this way, sir.
This guy can hit some of the longest home runs of anybody in the National League, especially when he's in one of his hot streaks.
And he's in it, crushing it lately. 350 over his last 10 games. You see the career numbers there. Last 10 games, 14 hits, 7 walks, 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Fouled off left-hand side. We showed you previously Trevor's numbers from the last start Saturday at Coors, and he struggled, went 7 innings, 105 pitches, 6 hits, 3 walks, and hit a batter. And at no point was Trevor ever able to settle into any kind of rhythm at all. And we've seen, especially from the 2 young left-handers, Miley and Corbin, when they get into a rhythm, they really get on a roll. But Trevor really never had that chance in his last start against the Rockies. Swing and a miss by Cargo, and that's the inning. Trevor Cahill a strikeout in the top of the first. We go bottom 1 here at Chase. No score. Open, very comfortable here. And we get set for the bottom of the first here with A.J. Pollock leading it off for the Diamondbacks and Kurt Gibson finally back home after the 9-game roadie. They went 4-5. And this is the lineup tonight that will face the left-hander Jorge De La Rosa, and only one left-handed bat in there, Bob.
It really doesn't seem to bother De La Rosa one way or the other on this season. Righty's only hitting 197, lefty's hitting 214, but most managers will try to load up as many right-handed hitters as they can. As you mentioned, only Parra swinging from the left side.
And Jorge De La Rosa riding a streak of 17 straight scoreless innings coming in. The Diamondbacks just faced him Saturday at Coors, and his stuff was outstanding. 6 innings of 2-hit ball with 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Look at the whip. Walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. That's outstanding, 1.03.
He's a good one, pitching with a lot of confidence this year. I think his arm strength is finally back as near 100% as it's going to be. Really using that high four-seamer and then just attacking the knees at the bottom of the zone. Those were the numbers against the D-backs on Saturday. 2 walks, 2 hits. 3 of those base runners were erased either by a caught stealing or double play balls.
And he is back from Tommy John, healthy for the first time in a long time and pitching very well. A.J. Pollock leads it off for the Diamondbacks here against Jorge De La Rosa. There's a strike, 0-1. A.J. in there at 277, 2 homers and 9 RBIs. 1 for 5 yesterday against the Giants. Had that huge RBI single in the 8th inning off Madison Bumgarner that tied the game 1-1. Great night to be here at Chase. High in the air right side. Young giving chase with all that speed, and he gets to it, 1 away. Defensively, the Rockies look as such.
One of the faster outfields in the National League with Cargo in left, Fowler in center. We just saw Eric Young streaking in from right field to make that catch. Troy Tulowitzki with that cannon arm at shortstop. We mentioned Ryan Wheeler just called up from AAA, filling in for Todd Helton, who's on the disabled list.
There's the outfield: Cargo, Fowler, Eric Young, left to right. And Ryan Wheeler, former Diamondback great, is out there at third. Gerardo Parra, 299, a homer and 5 RBI. Parra hitting 289 over a 9-game hit streak. That's the longest active streak in the National League right now. And watch for De La Rosa. We pointed this out last time we saw him at Coors Field. He's got that accelerated and extended leg kick, Bob. That high front leg comes up and just kind of hangs there for a while.
Yeah, kind of stops on the way up and then completes his delivery to home plate. Unusual looking, intended to throw off a hitter's rhythm up there at the plate. And judging from the numbers, you'd have to say it's working for him.
He's got great stuff. I mean, this is what it looks like. It stops, then comes back up again, and now we're ready to go here. A lot of moving parts there.
Yep.
2-1 now.
Well, one thing with De La Rosa, like a lot of good pitchers in baseball so far this season, you definitely want to get to him early. He's given up some hits in the first and second inning. A ball game really gets tough after that.
Well, everything for him works off the fastball. So if you can hit that fastball early, that'll shake up his game plan. But if he's successful with that fastball early, then he starts throwing the slider and the split and the change in the dirt. That's when everybody's fishing. That's when he gets more dominant as the game wears on. We saw that in his last start against the D-backs. 3-1 now to Gerardo Parra. Ball 4. Here's the Jackie Robinson 42 in the seats here at Chase. Martin Prado now. Prado 0 for 5 yesterday. In there at 226, 3 homers and 7 RBI. Gerardo Parra off first. Martin 154 on the long 9-game road trip, 6 for 39 with a 1 RBI, and he's got the socks up, and I think frankly we're all ready to give up.
I know I am.
We have reached out to sources in Atlanta. They had no idea. The Fox Sports Arizona I team is somewhat discouraged.
Now, our source in Atlanta did say that he thought that Prado wore the high socks on days after he was in the weight room because he wanted to show off his defined calves. But I think that may be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, that's a reach. He's got us all baffled. You got to give it to him, too. No apparent rhyme or reason, but he insists there is something behind it. Here's the 1-1. Chopper to second base. Rutledge, Tulowitzki, Kadire. They turn it. And that's the inning. We're through one here at Chase. No score. Game and be one of the first 20,000 fans to get a Wade Miley Garden Gnome courtesy of Sanderson Ford. Game time's at 5, but you got to get here early so you can enjoy all the night street festival activities. It's an outdoor deal. We're going to have fishing. You can learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. Lots of stuff going on. So get involved right here outside Chase Field. Call 602-462-4600 and get your own Wade Miley Garden Gnome. The gnome made it back from the trip, and so did Wade. Here's Aaron Hill down there in the dugout. Troy Tulowitzki leads off the second for the Rockies. Tulo in there at 299, 6 home runs already and 17 RBI. He is 7 for 22 over his last 7 with 3 homers and 6 driven in. Here's Aaron Hill explaining his hand injury to Wade Miley. Boy, his absence, Bob, just leaves a void that you can't fill.
Now, fortunately, because of the nature of the injury, hopefully Aaron will come back at full strength.
Martin Prado. Throw pulls Goldschmidt off the bag, and Goldie got him with a tag. More great Paul Goldschmidt defense. Wow. He can play first base.
Boy, he really can. Has such great instincts around the bag. Can immediately recognize on those errant throws when he needs to come off the bag and try to make the swipe tag, as he did right there on Tulowitzki. And on other throws, he can just keep the foot on the bag, stretch out, and still make the play. Nicely done that time by Goldie.
2 sparkling defensive plays by Paul Goldschmidt. We're only 4 outs in. Michael Kadire now. He's really off to a great start. Kadire in there at 333, 5 homers and 15 RBI. 1-0. The OPS over 1,000, 407 on base, 625 slugging. Kadire over his last 8 games, 333. He's 10 for his last 30. with 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 5 RBI. And if they can keep this core group together when they get through the middle of this order with Fowler and Cargo and Tulo and Kadire, and then when Rosario's in there behind the plate, they're a handful offensively.
Yeah, they can slug. I mean, that's kind of been the history of the Colorado Rockies since they first joined the National League. The old Blake Street Bombers, they just tried to slug opposing teams into submission. They've tried some other formulas over the years, but I think the fans really enjoy those Rockies teams that hit the ball out of the ballpark with regularity.
Yeah, they lost 98 games last year, worst season in franchise history. But so many of these guys were hurt, and that's kind of the way I qualified it. Was there's Dante Bichette, the hitting coach. I mean, he's got a lot to work with here. So many guys lost such huge stretches of their season. I mean, Tulo missed almost all the year. I think he was only playing 47 games, and Kadire missed half the season. I mean, it was a patchwork team. But if they could keep that group together all year, they're going to cause some problems in this division. Struck him out looking. Second strikeout of the game for Trevor Cahill. 2 down here in the second.
Right, for me, a sinker ball pitcher obviously works down and into the righties to get ground balls, but that's the money pitch. Throw it off the plate away, tail it back to that outside corner. Most right-handed hitters are going to quit on that pitch. It ends up working its way back to the corner, getting a called strike.
And now with 2 outs, Ryan Wheeler makes his Rockies debut, and for the former Diamondback, it's right here at Chase Field. Rockies put Todd Helton on the 15-day DL today. Helton has been fighting a forearm issue. He's got some inflammation in there, so Wheeler called up, and here he is. Diamondbacks sent Wheeler to Colorado in the offseason for Matt Reynolds. Where would they be without Matt Reynolds right now? Wheeler was really hitting well at AAA Colorado Springs. .348 in 15 games with 16 RBIs. Hard to first, and it gets down the right field line. That's a fair ball, and into the corner. Wheeler takes the turn and heads for second. Cody Ross has some issues out there. Stand up 2-out double for Ryan Wheeler.
Just fair down that first base line. Looked like a cutter that just kind of hovered there on the inside part of the plate to Wheeler. Puts it just inside the bag. A lot of different angles down there in that corner. Cody Ross actually played that one pretty nicely, but Wheeler chugs in with his first double and his first at bat this season for the Rockies.
Yeah, Cody actually did a great job of getting it in there quickly. It bounced down near our ball dudes down there. Josh Rutledge now. That's John Thorson down there manning the right field line for the D-backs. Rutledge at .230, 3 homers and 7 RBI. He's hit in 5 straight. Hard to third. Prado. Little double clutch. Throw right on target, and that's the inning. Rockies get a double. They leave 1. We go bottom 2. No score. 4, 5, and 6 here in the Arizona second inning. Goldie back from the road trip, hit .303, 2 homers and 6 RBIs.
Opposite field blast at Yankee Stadium at the beginning of that last road trip, and then a absolute bomb to left against the Giants.
10 for 33 over the 9-game trip, an on-base percentage of .425. Facing Jorge De La Rosa here in a scoreless second. Goldie yesterday in San Francisco singled, walked twice, and scored a run. And he has been the anchor. Kirk Gibson said this week about Paul Goldschmidt, what's not to like? We've seen the glove already today.
It's not unusual for hitters to really grip the bat loosely until the ball is released and they're ready to start their swing. Watch how loosely Paul Goldschmidt holds that bat, especially with the bottom hand.
That's Euclid-esque right there.
Yeah. This barely has his little finger and thumb holding that bat in place until De La Rosa gets ready to deliver the ball, and then he grabs on and lets it fly.
We showed you the home runs. The other great thing about Goldie offensively, he's got 13 walks this season. His on-base percentage is .426. Third base, Wheeler. Throws in the dirt. Kadire can't handle it. Leadoff man on for the Diamondbacks here in the second.
Right field, number 7.
That appeared to be a pretty routine play right from the get-go. Hard hit ball right at the third baseman Wheeler. He just spikes that ball in the dirt across to Michael Kadire, who's unable to come up with the pick. Hits him off the thumb of that big first baseman's mitt. Goldie's on to lead off the inning.
The error is on Kadire, not Ryan Wheeler. E3
Man.
up there on the board.
That's the second time we've seen that already this year, on a throw in the dirt to first base, and they give the error to the first baseman. I don't understand that at all.
Cody Ross. Cody at .293 with 5 RBI. He's 12 for 41 in 11 games so far on the year. Had a big 10th inning double yesterday in San Francisco after Goldie had walked. And Ross's shot helped set up what proved to be the winning run when Goldschmidt scored on Will Nieves' sacrifice fly. Nieves is on deck. 1-1 now. Cody had a big road trip. 9 games at .324. 12 for 37 with 5 RBI. They have changed the error. Now it's E5. So, Bob, you have been heard, my friend.
I'm glad I didn't change it. I mean, if that's the case, then throws in the dirt are going to be credited as an error to the first baseman. Wow. It'll be a tough season for first baseman's fielding.
Base hit for Cody Ross. First and second, nobody out here for the D-backs. Got something going against De La Rosa early, Bob. You said you got to get to him early.
Boy, Cody's done such a nice job as of late, taking pitches that are down and away and driving them to the opposite field. This one just past the diving Josh Rutledge. Good start to the inning here, taking advantage of the air, and now a little poke shot through that right side. Really pulls his hands in there, gets the barrel of the bat on the ball. Little soft floater through that right side. He'll take it.
So a chance here for Will Nieves, who gets the start behind the plate tonight. Miguel Montero getting a well-deserved day off, especially against the left-hander here. So Will Nieves is in there. 3 for 9 on the year. And Will's not had a whole lot of chances. 3 for 9 in 6 games, and there's Mickey getting the day off. He's been working hard. He's been scuffling, trying to get out of the offensive hole he's in. He had a few atom balls, I thought, in San Francisco, and that's kind of the way things go.
Yeah, when you're struggling at the plate, it seems like there's 15 defenders out there every time you step to the plate. But talk to Glenn Sherlock about Miggy. He said his attitude's good. Feels like the hits are going to start to come. Just keep grinding away, keep working hard.
It gets through Wheeler, and they'll wave Goldschmidt. Nieves knocks it into left. Here's the throw, and the run scores. RBI single for Will Nieves, and the Diamondbacks have the 1-0 lead here at Chase.
Ball hit through that left side. You saw Wheeler was drawn in, perhaps expecting a bunt. Carlos Gonzalez has one of the better throwing arms in all of baseball. Not quite sure why Ryan Wheeler cut that one. You saw Yorvik Torrealba standing at home plate with his hands up like, what in the world is going on? They were going to have a play on Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. Wheeler cut that throw off, and the D-backs are on the board.
So Ross to second, Nieves is on first. Still no one out, a run in, and here's Josh Wilson. 3 for 16 on the year in 9 games. Josh did not get a ton of playing time on the road trip, had only 7 plate appearances in 5 games, and he went 1 for 7 with a triple and a run scored. But anytime Josh Wilson has started, as you see by the graphic starting at second base tonight, he can generally give you the 1 for 3 and play solid defense.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
And we were on quite a roll early in the year with the tacos. The first couple of homestands, I mean, it's like we were driving around in a truck handing them out. So let's get that going again. And you'll see a lot of this. Jorge De La Rosa is a very emotional guy. And of course, after the tacos, you get some Cold Stone Creamery. Jorge De La Rosa, composure is an issue, and Yorvik Torrealba really is his personal catcher, and sometimes that has a derogatory tone to it, but they like the way Walt Weiss does that Torrealba, Bob, is able to connect with De La Rosa and get him to focus.
Yeah, it looked like that particular trip to the mound, De La Rosa didn't want to hear a thing that Torrealba had to say, so he just stood out there and kept talking until De La Rosa eventually turned, looked him in the eye, nodded yes, and now we're back in action here.
You have to watch De La Rosa with the body language. He's an emotional guy out there, and he can get upset. 2-1 now.
Trying to find constructive ways to focus that anger and energy.
Walt Weiss says that Torrealba does have the ability to connect with this guy. He's able to talk to him about showing the fastball and then using the slider, the changeup, and the split to follow up. And Torrealba insists that a key for De La Rosa, don't throw too many fastballs. If you're going to be successful with your stuff, you have to keep guys off balance, and that's what he constantly works on with De La Rosa. Both the composure and the repertoire. Pitch selection here is big. And also in these pitcher-catcher combos, oftentimes with guys when they connect, it's just simple personality fits. I mean, De La Rosa is at times an emotional guy. Torrealba can calm him down, keep him composed. Don't let cheap hits bother you. Don't let tight strike zone calls bother you. Just let's stay on track here.
Taste beats.
What's better than that?
Oh, man.
Some brats on there for you.
So orderly, too. I mean, look how they're lined up perfectly.
Little inside move. Cody Ross is back.
Boy, you'd really like to get a bunch in this inning. Already one D-backs run across, a couple men on base, nobody out, even though you're down at the bottom of the order. This is one of those opportunities to break through and do some damage against De La Rosa early.
Wheeler, they go to second for Rutledge, and Wilson is out at first. Ross to third, 2 down now. They turn the 5-4-3.
A slow developing double play from Wheeler to Rutledge, but Rutledge makes a very quick turn at second as he's getting out of the way of the sliding Will Nieves.
Vic Caraparza, the umpire at first. Cliff Pennington now. Chance to get another run in here. Cliff in there at 194, 3 RBIs. He's ahead 1-0. Pennington 1 hit in his last 23 at bats. He was 0 for 3 in yesterday's win at San Francisco. But back home now and use that home field, the homestand here to turn things around. High in the air. Left-hand side, Cargo is there. That ends the inning. But the Diamondbacks strand one, they get one in. We are through 2. Hey, Case meets. It's 1-0 D-backs. Saturday baseball presented by Chevrolet returns this week with 3 great matchups. The red-hot Atlanta Braves travel to Detroit to face the Tigers. Or you'll see Phillies Mets, Reds Nationals. Coverage starts at 9:30 in the morning. Some morning baseball on Fox. Check your local Fox listings. Torrealba, De La Rosa, and Young 8-9-1 here in the third against Trevor Cahill, who's been staked to a 1-0 lead.
There's your run. Go shut him out.
Go get him, kid.
I tell you, we laugh about it, but occasionally when a team is struggling offensively, to lighten the mood a little bit, that's exactly what you do. Hey, Trevor, there's your run. You shut him out, we win.
Your Torrealba. 300 on the year. He's 6 for 20 in 9 games. Had the game-winning hit for the Rockies yesterday. 12th inning walk-off. They won 6-5, and it was the 700th hit of his career. By the way, we have a live auction going on right now, Bob, down there at Auction Alley. These are the 42 jerseys that the Diamondbacks wore at Yankee Stadium on Jackie Robinson Day, and you can get one of those right now here at Chase Field, part of the auction.
Yeah, one had official Yankee dirt on it right there.
There you go. And there's a number of items down there signed. Diamondbacks helmets and balls and bats in addition to the 42 jerseys and memorabilia down there. Part of Auction Alley here at Chase Field. So get on down there and put on a bid. You end up with Gibby's shirt. Although, frankly, I'm not sure that as a D-backs fan I would want a Dodger jersey hanging in the den, even if it was Kirk Gibson's.
Yes, it's part of your Kirk Gibson museum that you have in your house.
And frankly, who doesn't have that? 2-2 now to Torrealba. He's got a hit in 5 of his last 6 games, .333 over that stretch. Did not go, says Vic Carapazza at first. Torrealba. He's like he's on the tee there with a golf swing thought. Working that gum. Right in front of the plate. Nieves tags him. You're out. Your beat. Not choosing to actively participate in the finale of that play.
He's out by 92 feet here. Actually backing up as the tag is made.
I'm going to just head straight back to the other dugout. But then the beauty of it is he kind of lingers there and waits to see if anyone's going to give him another strike.
No.
I'm sorry.
And, you know, if you're wondering, home plate is in fair territory. Actually, that ball looked like it was chopped into the dirt right in front of the plate. Will Nieves got out of the crouch quickly and caught it before it spun back into foul territory for one of the easiest outs you'll ever see.
Jorge De La Rosa, not a great hitter. 0 for 7 this year with 6 strikeouts. Cahill ahead 0-2 now. And as we mentioned, Trevor's issue with the Rockies in his last start was the fact that, as has happened in some of the previous starts this year with him, that sinking two-seam fastball just wasn't there. And Trevor said he just couldn't get command of the sinker, so he went to his other stuff more often than he normally might. And it was really sort of going off the menu for him. He said, I was working off everything but the sinker, which is the opposite of what he normally does. And that's when, I guess, as a pitcher, you can go out there and kind of just feel lost. Like your roadmap is gone.
And the reality for Trevor Cahill is when his sinker's working good and he's commanding it, he doesn't really need secondary pitches. He can just pound that thing in there at the bottom of the zone, get ground ball after ground ball. And we've seen a number of pitchers through the history of this game that have lived just with that sinking fastball, the two-seamer you see right there.
The four-seam fastball is the rising fastball. The two-seam is the sinking one that generates ground balls. And the Diamondbacks have really, Bob, sort of, you look at the blueprint of this staff, is find guys to throw that two-seam fastball and get ground balls here in a fly ball ballpark. De La Rosa 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts on the year, gets a walk.
Right fielder Eric Young Jr.
How about this? Up in the ABC club.
In case Kate's meats aren't your thing,
we'll get you a nice cut.
Yeah.
We can slice it as thin or as thick as you want there. Maybe get some, that's some nice bread right up there in the ABC club. Make a nice steak sandwich for you or something. What else we got over there? Eric Young Jr. He singled his first time up.
Good meeting. Nieves running out to the mound to talk to Trevor Cahill. That last sinker was over in the left-handed batter's box in the dirt. Fortunately, Will was able to reach across and pick it out of the dirt, much like a first baseman would on an errant throw. It was supposed to be on the outer part of the plate. When your pitcher starts missing his spot that badly, it's time to make a mound visit.
And oftentimes the pregame bullpen will give an idea of what kind of stuff he might have that day. And especially telling in Trevor's case because his pitches carry so much natural movement all the time anyway. And Trevor said when he was throwing before last Saturday's game against the Rockies at Coors, the sinker was actually cutting a bit instead of running arm side or into the right-hand hitter. And so he admitted he went out there against the Rockies last time and just kind of felt lost for a while, like he didn't have any put-away stuff. And it's got to be frustrating when you go out there with such a great weapon as your number one pitch and not have any idea where it's going when you throw it. And that largely, I think, this season has been his issue. I mean, he talks about the release point and the arm angle and whatnot, but it's just knowing where it's going.
Well, and trying to assist his pitcher, you'll occasionally see Will Nieves point to his left shoulder and then raise his right arm straight up over his head, indicating he wants Cahill to drive that left shoulder straight at his target and make sure you keep your arm up in that high slot. That's when you're going to get the maximum sink on that two-seamer. Change up coming here. Good one.
This season, Trevor is throwing the changeup 15% of the time. He's two-seam fastball at 46%. He's picked up the cutter and loves it. He's throwing that a lot, 27%. And then the changeup at 15%. That's primarily it. Average two-seam fastball velocity this year is 90.1 miles an hour. Got him. 3 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill.
Center fielder Dexter.
Yeah, Will Nieves nodding out to the mound. That's the one I'm looking for. Took just a little bit off that one. Got a little more sink. Turned it into a swing and a miss sinker.
And you see how much that ball moved. Dexter Fowler grounded to first base his first time up when Paul Goldschmidt turned that terrific 3-6 double play. Hit him. And like we said, sometimes you just don't, I don't know where it's going.
Pretty sure this was on the cutter, trying to get it in on the hands of Dexter Fowler, but started it off the plate inside. It ran a little bit further inside and clips him on the outside of that right calf.
So a walk to the pitcher, a hit batter, and these are the situations in which you put yourself that you don't want to be. You got 2 on now for Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo struck out his first time up. Dexter Fowler fouled the ball off his foot a couple of weeks ago and was limping around for a while, so he's had some bumps and bruises already this year.
That may have gotten him a little higher up on the outside of the right knee. I thought it got him on the outside of the calf, but it looks like the trainer's checking that right hinge.
Not a lot of padding around there.
No. And Dexter Fowler's speed is a big part of his game.
Let's go. Vamos, let's go.
Hey fans, MLB.TV celebrating 11 years, and you can join the millions of fans and subscribe today. You can watch every out-of-market game live online or in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. It's baseball everywhere. I have that. I use it all the time. It's unbelievable. You can watch every game. You can pick your broadcast crew. You can pick radio or TV. It's a fantastic service. So 2 on, 2 out here in the third. D-backs leading 1-0, but with their hands full now in Carlos Gonzalez. One and 0. Cargo showed up to spring training a lot leaner this year than last year. Right side, Wilson is there. Josh Wilson with a gorgeous stop in shallow right field. And the Diamondbacks once again doing it with defense. Josh Wilson at second base sends us to the third. 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Ram Trucks, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And by Gila River, another proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, what a gorgeous night out here. It is just beautiful. Roof open, panels open, good food, good friends, Chase Field, great atmosphere, Rockies and D-backs, and we're set for the bottom of the third, first of a 7-game homestand here, so you've got lots of opportunities over the next week to come out and check out the Diamondbacks in 2 big NL West series. The Rockies here for 4, then the Giants in for 3, beginning on Monday. Trevor Cahill leads off the third, 0 for 8 on the season, couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, you definitely want to get out here and take advantage of this tremendous weather and the roof being open. This ballpark is such a beauty when we have conditions like this. It's not going to be too much longer. They're going to have to shut the lid and turn on the AC. Still a beautiful ballpark, but can't beat it with the panels and roof open.
It's great. It's nice and airy. It's very cool. It's super comfortable. You can check out the Ramtrucks.com pool out there where there's probably still no food, Bob.
I think I saw some out there earlier today, yeah.
When you and I were out there, as we've discussed, there was nothing. Not even some, Ritz crackers. Put something out there.
A peanut would have been nice.
Like, who organized that? Some Pringles? Oh, see, they got, well, hold on. They got snacks down there.
Some snacks, cold beers. Yeah, oh, there you go. See?
Oh, that's funny. That wasn't there when you and I were there. 1-2 now. Struck him out, 1 away. Hey, the Fox Sports Fan Express, presented by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores, is back. Stop by the participating Cox retail store in Gilbert or Fry's in Prescott Valley and enter to win 2 seats on the bus, free round-trip transportation and tickets to a Diamondbacks game against the Padres sometime in May. Registration ends May 13th, so don't wait. For more information, visit foxsportsarizona.com. And that's a great deal. You get on the bus, they drive you down here, they spend the whole day. We take care of everything. All you got to do is show up. Get on the bus.
Gus, make a new plan. Stan.
A.J. Pollock hit a foul ball to right field that Eric Young Jr. tracked down his first time up in foul ground. It stays fair. Torrealba. What a play. What a play by Yorvit Torrealba. The little underhand shovel pass to get the speedy Pollock at first.
Can't do it much better than that. Torrealba, as you mentioned, scooping and shoveling on to first base all in one movement. The other play he could have made was to pick it up and hit A.J. Pollock in the back. You can clearly see he's inside the baseline all the way down there. But boy, look at that. Great shot right there. Scoop it up like a hawk. Flip on to first base.
Yorvi Torrealba. Gerardo Parra walked his first time up.
Yeah, one more look at that play by Yorvi Torrealba, coming right at you up the first base line. Keeps it inside the line to avoid A.J. Pollock, who, as I mentioned, was running inside the first base line. Can't do it much better than that.
1-1 now to Parra. And Torrealba, 34 years old. He'll turn 35 in July. Originally signed by the Giants back in 1994. He's playing in his 13th big league season and still making plays like that. And Torrealba's a guy that's been around too. Rockies, Giants, Rangers, Padres, Mariners, Brewers, and Blue Jays.
Yeah, that almost worked for A.J. Pollock, that swinging bunt up the first baseline. He never planned to do that, obviously, but occasionally a guy with speed will chop that ball in front of home plate and just outrun the throw to first.
2-2 now. That was a beauty. This guy can be a handful. Stuff is really good. Got a new elbow.
It's amazing the progress they've made with that Tommy John surgery. Used to be at least 18 months before a guy would be back out there pitching.
Chopper, De La Rosa hustling over, and Parra's in there, safe. Now it's a 10-game hit streak for Gerardo Parra as he beat him into the bag.
Well, that's one time I will not criticize a hitter for sliding head first into first base. That's really the only time you should do it, to avoid a possible tag. Kadire moving to his right, thinking he was going to have to make the play. He slips in his effort to get back to first. By the time De La Rosa reacts, yeah, Parra stays on his feet right there. There's a possibility of a tag, and he would have been out at first, but he goes to the head first slide to beat De La Rosa to the bag and gets himself an infield hit.
And if I'm Kadire, I don't have a tremendous amount of faith, Bob, in De La Rosa making that play off the mound. He's not the most athletic guy out there. So a 10-game hit streak now for Gerardo Parra. That is the longest active hit streak in the National League. Martin Prado hit into a double play his first time up. Right field, foul. And how valuable has Martin Prado been? In the series finale against the Giants, he was starting at third base. In the middle game, he was starting at second base. In the series opening game, he was starting in left field. Where would they be without this guy's versatility?
Especially with the injuries that the Diamondbacks have suffered in the early going this year. Such a valuable guy in the National League, especially. Trying to shoot that ball through the hole on the right side of the infield. A little bit tardy that time.
Is there a guy who's better at that than Martin Prado? Just shooting it to right with a guy on base. Look, you can see him right there with his hand. It's just, he can do that all day. You get the sense that if he wanted to hit 10 in a row over there foul, he could do. Rutledge is way over toward the bag at second. A lot of room there with Kadire holding Parra on. There goes Parra. They got him picked off. Gerardo Parra is thrown out. That ends the inning. We're through 3 here at Chase. And the Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 1-0. Major leagues. And Bob, the Diamondbacks, as we always say, lead the league in love.
Absolutely.
Hello. The blushing bride. They had a wedding here at the last homestand. We had a couple get married on top of the dugout before game for one of the Dodger games.
Ball players got involved. Nice round of applause. D. Baxter got involved with the wedding.
Well, he's always involved.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually, I'll give it up to Baxter. He had his tux on for the wedding, but he did kind of crash. It was a Vince Vaughn wedding crasher kind of a thing. And then in a surprising turn of events, he actually, after the big moment, kissed the groom by mistake.
Or so he says.
Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Kadire, Ryan Wheeler, 4, 5, and 6 here in the Colorado fourth. Will Nieves with an RBI single has given the Diamondbacks the 1-0 lead here.
Boy, when you're facing a sinker ball pitcher and he throws one up here, you'll see guys come out of their shoes, especially home run hitters like Troy Tulowitzki. That sinker up there, letter high. That's what you tell yourself when you leave that on deck circle. I want to see the ball up in the zone, because you know if he throws that sinker down around the knees, you're just going to pound it into the dirt.
You saw the movement on that. Into the righty. Tulowitzki waves at that one and he strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts now for Trevor Cahill.
Well, and encouraging that it came on a breaking ball. A lot of downward movement, 79-mile-per-hour curve that ends up in the dirt.
First baseman Michael Kadire.
That's a pitch that he mixes in infrequently, but the results he had right there, we may see a few more of those.
Michael Kadire struck out looking his first time up. Kadire with 5 home runs on the season. One of them came in the last meeting against Trevor Cahill over the weekend.
Hanging breaking ball that time, and anytime you get a ball up in the air at Coors Field, it's got a chance to leave the park.
Doesn't get the strike call from Kerwin Danley, and it's 2-1. Kadire strained an oblique last July 31st. Played in only 3 more games after that because of the injury. Third base, it stays fair, and Prado slips and falls. Kadire will head for second base. And he's in there. Not an artistic success by any stretch, but a double for Michael Kadire.
It looked like that ball skipped right off the top of third base, enough to change directions away from Martin Prado. Oh, what a great effort by Pennington and Josh Wilson to try to get the out at second base. Here you'll see it right down the third base line, and right there just kissed off the inside of third base, changed directions enough that Martin Prado couldn't get there. Pennington hustled over. Oh, very close in second, but Kadire in with an exploding slide into second base very late.
Did that hit the bag?
Yeah, it hit the inside of third base. Prado was going over to the line, looked like he had a play on it, had to dive back to his left.
So Kadire with his 5th double of the year, the tying run in scoring position with 1 out. And here's Ryan Wheeler, who doubled his last time up. Pulled one down the right field line that went all the way into the corner. He wound up stranded at second. This is his Rockies debut, the former Diamondback. Let's take a look and see how much that ball actually does get moved when it hits the bag here.
Yeah, Prado was getting in position. You can see him squaring up to what he thought was going to be a ball right down the third baseline. It moved just enough that he couldn't dive back to his left and make the play. Well, we've seen a lot of balls hitting the bags.
Yeah, on the road trip we had a couple.
Yeah, already.
Left field side, out of play. By the way, we do have the honorary D-backs contracts that, and it's totally up to our discretion as to whether we want to award them to a fan who makes a nice catch. The only thing we ask is that you very careful and don't lean over any railings or anything. And that's a serious issue. But Derek Hall has given us permission, Bob, to grant a honorary contract to any fan who makes a nice catch here at Chase Field, and we have that authority. And frankly, we don't just hand these things out to anybody. No. Let's see, maybe we get one here. No, see, you can't. No, you gotta have better reactions than that. Yeah, now, see, it doesn't count if you get it. If it bounces off something at a level above you and comes down.
Not only do you get the honorary D-backs contract, you get 4 free tickets in the dugout boxes for a game, and 30% off at the team shop.
Yeah, so this is a legit deal here. So we have our scouting eyes open. Here's the 0-2 now to Wheeler. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts for Trevor Cahill. 2 down here in the 4th.
Yeah, they call that one the comebacker. Greg Maddux, that was his go-to pitch. Fire that hard sinker inside off the plate. Get that left-handed batter to freeze. Sometimes lock out his knees like Wheeler does. And then the ball tails right back across the inside corner.
The old front door two-seamer. That's the pitch that Ian Kennedy says he really wants to pick up, because you can throw it right at the guy's hip and it kind of sneaks in there for a strike. Here's Rutledge now. Will Nieves. They have Kadire well off second, but no one's there to throw the ball to. I mean, look at how far Kadire wanders off the bag.
Just reacting to the pitch in the dirt, anticipating that it might get away from Nieves. He'd be able to advance on to third. Yeah, picking up 90 feet, moving from second to third, even with 2 outs in the inning against a sinker ball pitcher, is significant. Guy tends to throw a lot of pitches in the dirt. You can find your way to third base even with 2 outs in the inning. Possible chance of scoring on a wild pitch pass ball.
Rutledge has hit .296 over his last 8 games. 2 home runs. Born in Cullman, Alabama, went to Tuscaloosa. 3rd round pick by the Rockies in the 2010 draft, and he has finally solidified that second base spot. 3-0 now. Yorvi Torrealba's on deck. And Yorvi sneaking over there to get a close look. He's nowhere near the on-deck circle.
We saw him doing that in Colorado also, just trying to, that's something he learned from Todd Helton. Helton would try to sneak all the way over there by the A logo if possible, just to get a look at the release point. Try to get something to use to his advantage when he gets in that batter's box.
Walked a ball 4. Hey, check out the new Grab and Go outside section 104 here at Chase Field. Great place to find all your favorite Pepsi products. You can just, well, like they say, grab and go. Grab one and go. You do have to pay.
Yeah, I'll pay first.
Yeah, and then it's. But, I mean, that's convenient right there. You don't want to be stuck in a line and wait forever and miss something. Just, yeah, I need a drink. You run up there, grab it, go.
Yeah, if you're fast enough, you probably wouldn't even miss a pitch, you know, until the guy is retired or gets on base, whatever the case may be. And before the next batter can get in the box, you can run up to section 104, grab and go.
So Cahill has now walked 2 and hit a batter. 2 on 2 outs for Yorvi Torrealba, who, as we saw his first time up, refused to leave the batter's box, even though the ball was hit into play. Now, in his defense, it was only about 1.5 feet, but it was in play. And he just sort of stood there and said, I'm not going to participate. There's the strike, 0-1.
He could have done the old Willie Stargell, try to call timeout. Willie Stargell one time slid into second base and came up about 3 feet short. The shortstop was there waiting for him with the ball, and Willie tried to call timeout. Doesn't work that way.
You can do that in the NBA. 0-2. Woo, dropped that one right in there.
Nice yacker. He's thrown a couple good ones in the game today. Wow.
And that's not a pitch that he throws a lot. So far this year, he's only throwing the curveball 8% of the time. But it's the kind of thing where you want to throw it just enough to get it in the back of some guy's head.
Or to steal a strike like he did right there against Torrealba. Comes right back with another one. Tried to get a chase on that curveball in the dirt, low and away.
Chopper, and it is foul. I like how our bat boys don't have anything on the back. Like some teams will give the guy a number, or they'll put a giant name on the back like Dave or a big BB. You would probably like that.
I like those, yeah.
Big BB on the back.
Bat Boys has to hustle here at Chase Field. That's a long run from that dugout up to the home plate area or foul territory.
Kadire goes for third, and he's in there. Rutledge stays put at first and third now. They get that 90 feet.
Hard sinker low and away. Backhanded attempt by Nieves, and we've been talking about Kadire down there at second base reading that ball in the dirt. I'm not sure what Josh Rutledge was doing over at first base.
Wild pitch. Kadire to third. Catching Trevor Cahill's a handful. I mean, his stuff moves so much, and a lot of it, because it's that two-seam sinking fastball, is going to be in the dirt. And Nieves has been moving all over the place back there.
I was just thinking the same thing, Steve. I mean, if you had to pick one pitcher on this staff that is probably the toughest because of his assortment of pitches and where he needs to pitch to be effective, I think Trevor Cahill is probably the toughest starting pitcher for any catcher.
I mean, in some ways, it's like trying to catch a knuckleball because it's moving all around in all kinds of different directions, especially when he's going two-seam cutter, two pitches that break in opposite directions. Prado at third. Got to hurry here. No play. Run scores. Tie game. So the wild pitch results in a Rocky run. 1-1 here in the fourth.
That ball just stayed down for Martin Prado. And you can see as he went to grab that ball, he caught the webbing of the glove instead of getting his hand inside the ball right there. And it just doesn't come out cleanly.
They gave him an error. E5 on the play.
Wow. Is Baxter scoring this game?
He's literally looking for the guy up here.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, a little chopper in front of the mound. He's got to come in and field it on a tough hop and make the transition. And
I mean, you make that play, that's a highlight reel. That's a web gem.
Here's De La Rosa, the pitcher, who walked his first time up. 0 for 7 on the year with 6 strikeouts, and he got a walk last time. Let's do this one more time. High in the air, Cahill. And that's the inning. Due up next, CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We'll see Prado, Goldie, and Ross here in the Diamondbacks fourth.
At 1 in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Tough error for Martin Prado in that last half inning. Little chopper right in front of home plate. He was playing very deep, almost with his heels on the outfield grass. Had a long way to run to get to it. Now, if you ask Martin, he'll tell you, yeah, I should probably make that play, but I don't know if they were going to get him at first base anyway. That's a tough error.
Leading off for the D-backs.
And it led to a Rocky run, so we're 1-1 here. Bottom four, Prado, Goldschmidt, and Ross. 3, 4, and 5 here in the Arizona fourth, up against Jorge De La Rosa, who so far has given up 1 run on 3 hits. Martin Prado grounded into a double play his first time up. One 1-0. Jorge De La Rosa, originally a Diamondback. D-backs signed him out of Mexico in 1998. Then he was back in Monterrey, the Mexican League, a couple of years later. It's been quite a path for this guy. Prado taken all the way 2-0. Following season, he was bought by the Red Sox. 2 seasons in Boston system, picked up again by the Diamondbacks, part of the Curt Schilling trade in 2003. Only a day or 2 later, the D-backs flipped him to Milwaukee. It's part of a big package for Richie Sexson, the Richie Sexson deal.
We like to call that the Nucci-Varner trade.
Because Nucci was really the player in the deal.
Yeah, Richie was just a throw-in.
kind of worked out that way. Sadly.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, Richie got hurt after, 23, 24 games into that season and was lost for the rest of the year.
2-1 now to Prado. Once he got to Milwaukee, De La Rosa was with the Brewers for 2.5 seasons, and then at the deadline in 06, he was on the move again, this time to Kansas City. He was only with the Royals for 1.5 years, and they sent him here to the Rockies. He was a player to be named later in a Ramon Ramirez trade. Third base, Wheeler, long throw. Prado's aboard. Boy, talk about an A for effort. Ryan Wheeler almost ended up in the left field stands.
I'm going to wait till they call this a hit. Nice effort by Ryan Wheeler. That's about all he could do. His momentum carrying him into foul territory. Just tries to turn and lob it across the diamond, hoping it gets there ahead of Martin Prado, but Prado with enough speed to leg it out for what we assume is an infield hit.
Boy, at least you're not bitter.
I'll give you that.
Here's Goldie.
I still haven't written in the last one, to tell you the truth. I think that's going to end up getting changed.
Careful, because Goldie reached on an error his first time up. There's a strike, 0-1. Kirk Gibson says Paul Goldschmidt, you like everything he does, from the time he gets to the park, from the time he leaves every day. He's very good at preparation, before, during the game, and after. He's a great teammate, works hard, has high expectations. There goes Prado to second. Torrealba, no throw. Good base running by Martin Prado there.
Well, it's such a valuable asset for a base runner, the ability to anticipate, look at the trajectory of the pitch from your leadoff at first base. When you see that ball headed for the dirt, take off. Very tough for a catcher to block and recover, get to that ball quickly enough to throw you out at second base. Great read that time by Martin.
And you see, we told you De La Rosa is an emotional guy. Composure can be an issue for him. You saw his reaction. Here's the 1-1 now to Goldie. He's got that split and that change, but he can hump it up when he needs it. 93 there. Runners in scoring position, and Paul Goldschmidt has been a machine. 9 for 15. I'm surprised you haven't suggested robot scorers with your track record on the robot umps. Can you come up with a computer that can do that? Well, if this from the guy who can't get his laptop to work.
It's working now. I just had to give it a pep talk and a nickname.
Paul Goldschmidt high in the air, left hand side. It's off the pole and a home run. Oh my! Goldie gone, his 5th of the year, and the Diamondbacks are back out in front, 3-1. That was a mile high. Fulton Holmes, it's another Fulton home run. $150 goes to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association.
Oh, he doesn't get cheated. I'll tell you, that ball was hit a ton. Top of the foul pole down the left field line. The only question was fair or foul. Lightning quick swing for a big, strong man. Goldie knows it's got plenty of distance. The only question is it fair? Absolutely.
He almost hit it over the foul pole.
Wow. They got a description of guys like Paul Goldschmidt. They say he has light tower power.
Here's Cody Ross. The one he hit in San Francisco, that was a moonshot. Take a listen. That sounded good.
Oh, man, sounded good off the bat, sounded good off the foul pole.
Cody pulls one down the line, 5. There it is, and that's way up there. That's higher than the third deck. That's higher than Friday's Front Row Sports Grill out there. There's the smile. That's got to be a pretty good feeling.
I mean, we've heard this description of other players already this season, and I mean this in a complimentary way. That is stupid power.
Center field, Fowler. One out here in the fourth. Ram Trucks Pool, great place to watch a game. They're out there tonight with snacks and food. You're in the hot tub. You can actually see the game from the hot tub. You can stand out there. We got some bar stools, got a bar area. It's fantastic out there, the RamTrucks.com pool area. And the great thing about that is, as we've said, you're not 20 feet above the playing field. You really do see the game. As the outfielder sees it, you're only about 5 feet off the ground. So it looks very much as if you're playing right center field.
Totally different perspective of a ball game if you're used to watching from the grandstands between the bases or behind home plate. Really gives you a different perspective on the game. You get a better appreciation for the outfielders and the jump they get on balls and how much ground they cover out there.
We only gave us Sarby guy single his first time up.
Not to mention how long that throw is back to the infield.
Yeah. Yeah, usually if you sit out there in many ballparks, if you're out in right center somewhere, you're 10, 20, 25 feet off the ground, way high up there. But here, you really do view the game like you're playing the outfield. And it's a great spot. Plus, it's a great area just to hang out in. Third base, Wheeler. No play. Third hit of the inning. And this is going to be interesting because if the Prado ball's an error, that's got to be an error, right?
Base hit.
Let's see. How is this different from the Prado play? He charged the ball, picked it up, and dropped it. The other one was an error. That's a base hit. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to tell you the truth. It's almost an identical play. I mean, until the end when Wheeler kicked it around a little bit.
I'll tell you what. Prado's play was harder because it was more softly hit.
Yeah.
He had to come in much more. Wilson high in the air, right side. Here comes Eli Jr. Rutledge makes a diving play in shallow right. Josh Rutledge from second base. Wow.
Man, what an athletic play by Rutledge. This is the tail end of it. The diving catch going straight out into right field. Oh, man, what a play. He was breaking to cover second on the hit and run, was almost all the way to second base, slammed on the brakes, turned around, sprinted out into right field. Yeah, you're going to see that play again on some of the highlight shows. Wow.
Cliff Pennington now. Flied out his first time up. And we said Josh Rutledge has really settled down, a position that's basically been a revolving door in Colorado, second base. Since 2000, the Rockies have had 12 different opening day second basemen.
Yeah, keep an eye on Rutledge and where he's at. He's breaking to cover second base, has to stop, reverse field, run out into right field, and just throws his body out there, makes a tremendous diving catch.
A little bit of everything in this inning. Long home runs. Some good and some not so good defense. Rutledge one more time. Had himself an inning. But the Arizona Diamondbacks take a 3-1 lead. Paul Goldschmidt, his fifth home run of the year. This one off Jorge De La Rosa. High, deep, and gone off the pole. We're through 4. 3-1 D-backs. Paul Goldschmidt's 5th home run of the season has given the Diamondbacks a 3-1 lead over the Rockies through 4 here. And it's a perfect time to go to our AT&T Twitter poll question. What is the first thing you do when returning from a long trip? We were gone 9 games in 10 days. Put the hashtag FSAZ in front of either laundry, shopping, family, or get the mail, pay the bills. We ask you to tweet your vote to @FoxSportsAZ. We'll have the results later in the game. Laundry, shopping, family, or mail?
I go straight to Taco Bell and get my 3 free tacos.
UI Jr., Dexter Fowler, and Carlos Gonzalez 1, 2, and 3 here in the 5th inning against Trevor Cahill. Paul Goldschmidt has played spectacular defense tonight, and he hit a long home run off the top of the left field foul pole. And it's made it 3-1 Diamondbacks. They've out-hit Colorado here 6-3. Rockies have stranded 5 in the game. UI Jr. singled in the 1st and struck out in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2.
Good time for a 0 on that board. Big shutdown inning here for Trevor Cahill. Top of the Rockies order. Team has just given him 2-run lead in this game. Get him back up there to the plate as quickly as you can.
He's already got 5 strikeouts, and he's ahead here 0-2. If you're a fan of the WAR stat, wins above replacement, WAR tells us that Trevor Cahill has actually gotten better every season. His WAR is on the rise. Cahill's WAR has risen from 0.6 to 3.4 over his 4-year career. And that's partly due to the strikeout rate. As we mentioned, he's got 5 tonight. The strikeout rate for Cahill has also gone up every year. Center field, A.J. Pollock is there coming in. Makes the catch. That one got up.
Yeah, up in the zone. We talked about the approach for the D-backs against De La Rosa. I would have to assume it's the same thing for the Rockies against a sinker ball in Cahill. Get something up in the zone and jump on it. That time Young with a sinking line drive to center, but Pollock up to the task.
Dexter Fowler has grounded out. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. As a rookie in 2009, Trevor Cahill had a strikeout percentage of 11.6. And it looked as though he would be a below average strikeout pitcher for his career. That's not the case. That number has gone up every season. 15.1% in 2010, 16.3% in 11, 18.6% last year. His first season here in Arizona. Hard to right center, it gets down. Cody Ross is over there. Fowler's aboard with a 1-out single here in the 5th.
Left fielder Carlos Gonzalez.
Nobody likes to give up base hits. Pretty much a piped fastball that time right down the middle of the plate. But I'd much rather see Trevor Cahill throwing strikes, giving up base hits, than walking guys.
He has walked 2 in the game. He's also hit a batter. Here's Cargo, who has struck out and grounded out 0 for 2. Hitting .350 over his last 10 games.
That's a design play that comes from the Diamondbacks bench. Just come into your set position and hold the ball, hoping to get Fowler to commit over there at first base, maybe take off a little bit early. And Trevor will stand there until the batter calls timeout.
Mentioned Carlos Gonzalez is leaner this year. He said last year he tried to be bigger, put on some weight, lift some weights, didn't work. Says now he understands the kind of player he is. Explosive, not looking for power. Just be quick to the ball. And when he's going well, he's quick to the ball and not putting any extra power in his swing. It's more, he says, he realizes about hitting the baseball in the right spot, not about bulking up with some big offseason weight program. So he's leaned up here in 2013.
Everything about baseball, especially hitting, is quick and explosive, not long and loopy. Some guys can have success for a brief period of time with a long loopy swing, but with advanced scouting and video work in this league, they'll find the weaknesses, they'll pound you in on your hands, and that long loopy swing will not serve you very well. Short, quick, and explosive. Well, that's short to the ball. Gets extension after contact. Williams used to talk about it all the time. Quick to it, long through it.
Nice block by Will Nieves to get behind the batter like that and keep Fowler at first base. That's a good defensive play by the catcher. Look at how far over he has to range and then avoid the hitter, get the baseball, and keep an eye on Fowler.
Yeah, and that pitch is so far inside. It's in that area where the left-handed batters are digging their toe hold in the back of that box, and it's all chewed up, and that ball doesn't always bounce exactly where you think it's going to. That was a good play by Will.
Remember the days when the catchers and often the backup catchers would be these big, giant, lumbering guys, present company accepted, excluded, of course. But now they're young, athletic guys. I mean, they can dart around back there, agility. It's no longer the sort of the big lummox type that kind of waddles up there and just squats down and blocks the balls just with his size alone. Now, very athletic guys back there.
Yeah, we just came from San Francisco. Buster Posey, tremendous athlete behind the plate.
Kirk Gibson says he loves to do this. He knows it upsets everybody. There's a Fox Sports Arizona camera way out there in center. Looking out from behind. A.J. Pollock there. 3-2 now. Troy Tulowitzki's on deck. There goes the runner, but it's ball 4, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki with 2 on. Tulo hit a home run in the 4th inning of the series opener in Colorado. That was Friday. Off Ian Brandon McCarthy.
Line drive that just kept going and going and going out there just to the left straightaway center. And then this one, another line drive right down the left field line.
Yeah, the homer off McCarthy was Sunday. That was in the 6th. The homer off Kennedy was in the series opener, and as we know, this guy can do some damage. So 3 walks in the game now for Cahill. He's also hit a batter. 2 on, 1 out for Tulowitzki, who has grounded out and struck out. He's 0 for 2. You're on TV. Tulo coming into tonight 7 for 22 over his last 7 games, 3 homers and 6 RBIs. Having trouble throwing strikes here. It gets by Nieves. Runners advance.
Cahill really struggling with his release point right now. That ball's way over in the middle of the left-handed batter's box. It was intended to be a sinker down and into Tulowitzki, looking for that ground ball for a possible double play. Missed his spot all the way across the plate.
And with Cahill scuffling a bit, Tony Sipp is up and throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen here, with 1 out in the 5th. Pitch count is way up, 96. "96 pitches, 55 for strikes." Three and 0 now. Kadayer's on deck.
It's always a tough spot for a manager and a pitching coach. You'd obviously love to get Trevor Cahill through this inning with a 3-1 lead, give him a chance to get a win today. But by the same token, you want to win the ball game. If he can't find that strike zone quickly, we'll probably see Tony Sipp in this game at some point. Probably for Ryan Wheeler.
3-1. Kadayer, the on-deck hitter, is a righty. Sipp, the lefty, is throwing. Wheeler, left-handed, as Bob mentioned, is in the hole. Walked, the bases loaded. 4 walks for Trevor Cahill. Charles Nagy out to have a conversation.
The only thing that may have given Trevor Cahill a reprieve is the fact that he has pretty much dominated Michael Kadayer throughout their respective careers. See, with that double back in the 4th inning, Kadayer is now 3 for 20 lifetime against Trevor Cahill.
Cahill has walked 4, he's hit a batter, and he's thrown 2 wild pitches. 99 pitches here through 4 1/3. 56 for strikes. Kadayer struck out looking in the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 4th.
Another reason you'd like to get him through this inning, if at all possible. He's scheduled to lead off the bottom half of the 5th. If you made a pitching change now, it would either be just to get yourself out of the inning or you'd have to make a double switch.
0-1. Dexter Fowler at 3rd. Carlos Gonzalez at 2nd. Troy Tulowitzki at 1st. And Cahill now over 100 pitches on the night. Here it is. And with the exception of the start he had here against the Dodgers, this has been the Trevor Cahill, Bob, we've seen all year long, laboring. Never looking comfortable. That's what he's looked like tonight.
Yeah, he'll execute a couple of good pitches like this one. Nasty sinker outside with a lot of movement, and then he'll throw one over in that left-handed batter's box. Then he'll paint the inside corner with another good sinker, and then he'll bounce a breaking ball 2 feet in front of home plate.
You can see him out there just trying to find some command. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now.
How do you take that pitch? Wow.
Some a little upset about it than others. Did he go? Yes, he did. 2 down. 6 strikeouts for Cahill.
Well, nice sequence there for Trevor Cahill. Threw some real good sinkers down in the zone. That one just off of the outside corner. Threw some nice cutters or little baby sliders on that outside part of the plate that Kadayer was able to check. This time he gets out there too far for the swing and a miss.
They have the lefty Sipp warming, and it looks like they'll let Cahill face the lefty Wheeler here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Wheeler has doubled and struck out 1 for 2. Second base side, Wilson, and they're going to get out of it. Trevor Cahill leaves them loaded, and we go to the 5th. Kirk Gibson's faith in Cahill pays off. It's still 3-1 Diamondbacks. Cahill's night is over here through 5. Alfredo Marte will hit for Cahill to lead off the inning. 105 pitches through 5 balls.
Well, that's what you talk about laboring, and Trevor Cahill was laboring throughout most of the ball game today. Didn't get hit hard, but just could not consistently find a good release point. Really had to work hard to get through 5.
Tony Sipp was up and throwing before. Now it's Josh Colmenter, who may need to come to the rescue here and do what he did in that brilliant game on opening week against the Cardinals when we went 16 innings, because this is a bullpen, Bob, that has to be absolutely worn out after that 9-game road trip. Every game on that trip was 8th, 9th inning. The game was on the line, and all these guys were used time and time again on the trip. 25 and 2/3, and they were all high leverage situations. 1-run game, 8th or 9th, tying runs on base or at the plate. And they really could have used a breather here tonight. And maybe Colmenter can give them a lift here and, go a few here and, in a sense, save the day. The bullpen really could use a blow.
That's where Josh Colmenter could possibly step in, as you mentioned tonight, eat up as many innings as possible. Give the rest of those guys somewhat of a day off. You'd like to see it be your starting pitcher that pitches deep into the ball game, 7, 8, 9 innings, give the bullpen a day off. But today it's going to fall to Josh Colmenter to get deeper into the game.
Kadire. One away here in the 5th. Well, that is a luxury that you can tap in almost a resource in a situation like this, where you can, in one sense, go to the bullpen, but in another sense, give most of the guys the night off. That's what a Josh Colmenter can do for you. And we saw that, of course, in the 3rd game of the year here, a game that went 5 hours and 23 minutes, when Colmenter threw 78 pitches after throwing 24 the night before in game 2 on the year. A.J. Pollock now, he's 0 for 2, fouled out and grounded out. Pollock's done a good job as the leadoff man this year. In 5 previous starts batting leadoff, he's hitting .316, 6 for 19, 3 doubles and 3 runs scored. And Kevin Towers says he gets a lot of calls from teams interested in A.J. Pollock. It's a name that comes up a lot when the phone rings. Tulowitzki backing up, long throw, got him. Here's Gerardo Parra, last time up, had an infield single to extend his hit streak to 10, which ties a career high. Parra has walked and singled. He's been on base twice, but then again, what else is new? This guy is a pain in the neck in a great way if you're a Diamondback fan.
I just love to watch some of the routines, not only the Diamondbacks, but all players in the major leagues, either in the on-deck circle or before they step into that batter's box. Parra lifts that right leg high in the air and then takes a very abbreviated, choppy swing up above his shoulders. Martin Prado's got some very unusual routines that he follows in the on-deck circle. Just as he comes out of the Diamondbacks dugout, Paul Goldschmidt, we see him take some funny-looking swings, but it's all meant to remind you of mechanical things that you want to do right when that ball is thrown.
And as usual, he's a complete mess up there. Look at him. If you go back and look through Gerardo Parra's game logs this season, and I did, you'll still find only 2 games all season in which Parra started the game but did not get a hit. 9-game road trip, he went 10 for 34, 3 RBI and 7 runs scored. Came in as a pinch runner yesterday afternoon in San Francisco, and as usual, he made an immediate impact. Scored on A.J. Pollock's RBI single. That tied the game. And when he hit in the 9th, it was Parra who had the RBI single that drove home Didi Gregorius with a go-ahead run. There's a man in a banana suit.
The rally banana.
Usually they come in pairs. Or bunches, if you will. That appears to be a lone banana.
I expected to see the Phoenix Suns gorilla chasing that banana down the aisle there.
Parr is on base for the third time in 3 at-bats tonight. A walk, a single, and a walk. And that brings up Martin Prado. And you mentioned the walk-up routine that Prado, some of these hitters have, Bob. Here's Prado. He does this thing. Now watch. Wait for the kiss here after the gloves. There it is. Draws the line in there, and that's after walking directly behind the box and then directly straight towards center field to come up from behind it. Prado was hit into a double play, singled and scored. Prado against lefties last year, a monster. 323. Led the majors with 22 doubles against left-hand pitchers. And Parra, as usual, active on the bases. That's in the dirt, 2-0.
Boy, we've seen the issues that opposing teams have defensively in the outfield when Martin Prado's at the plate. The right fielder has to play straight away or maybe even a step or two toward the right field line. He has pull power, so the left fielder plays straight away and deep. And Dexter Fowler, you can see how much room he has to cover from gap to gap there, left center to right center. You can't cheat one direction. You can't bunch your outfielders and take away the gaps because Martin might hit it anywhere.
3-0. Paul Goldschmidt on deck. He homered his last time up. EY Jr. in right. There's Fowler and Cargo. And there's Paul Goldschmidt on deck. Monster 2-run home run his last time up off the top of the left field foul pole. Here's the 3-0. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks for the D-backs here with 2 outs in the 5th. Tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Paul Goldschmidt his last time up. Watch how high this goes off the foul pole. And he's doing it with a glove as well.
Swung on, grounded down to first. Glove in front of the bag by Goldschmidt.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Ram Trucks, tools of the trade. Goldie reached on an error and scored his first time up. They saw the 2-run homers last time up. De La Rosa now at 75 pitches, 43 for strikes. On the road trip, Goldie 303 with 2 home runs. There's a strike, 0-1. Last time he got one, Bob, that he homered, it was a pitch that was in. So we'll see, maybe they stay away this time.
And we know he's got power the other way, too. If he can get to it, he can drive it.
Let's see where they set up Torrealba. Going to go away. Yep. Being very careful with Paul Goldschmidt.
Now you notice Torrealba very late in setting up back there. They don't want to tip off Gerardo Parr at second base as to the location of the pitch in case he might relay it to Paul Goldschmidt.
Matt Williams ready to direct traffic. Parr at second, Prado at first. One and 2.
Well, you said it. Goldie has been irreplaceable so far this year for the Diamondbacks. In their 12 wins, he's hitting .408 with 13 runs driven in, 13 runs scored. In losses, a .200 batting average with only 3 runs driven in and 2 scored.
He has been the anchor. 1-2 now. Fowler. Diamondbacks get a couple of walks. They leave 2. We're through 5. It's 3-1 Arizona.
Signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Trevor Cahill's night is over. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, Josh Colmenter. And he has been nothing short of sensational in this Arizona bullpen. Here to pick up some innings and give this exhausted bullpen, hopefully, the rest of the night off. And look at those numbers.
That's why you carry a long man in the bullpen, and those occasions when your starter gets knocked out early in the game, you like to have a guy down there that you can bring in and cruise through 3 or 4 innings of a ball game.
Josh Rutledge, Jorvi Torrealba, and the pitcher spot here, 7, 8, 9 in the Colorado 6th. Rutledge grounded out and walked, and has made one spectacular highlight reel play in shallow right. And he hits it to right. Cody Ross on away. Josh Colmenter overwhelmingly all fastball changeup. He throws the four-seam fastball 87% of the time, and the changeup the rest of the time. He's been dabbling with a curveball, but still not quite there with it yet.
He's got so much deception in his delivery that he can get by with only 2 pitches. I mean, they don't really pick up his fastball well, and on those occasions when a hitter looks like he's catching up to the heater, that's when he throws the straight changeup.
Torrealba 1-0. Torrealba has reached on an error and grounded out. Josh Wilson, a nice game over there at second base. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. De La Rosa will hit here. Josh Colmenter, take another look at these numbers. Now, this is with a minimum of 45 innings pitched. Over the last 2 seasons, the only other reliever who's pitched at least 45 innings in the National League with a lower ERA is Craig Kimbrell.
Wow, that's impressive.
How about that? Colorado bullpen, crickets. De La Rosa down 3-1 is hitting here in the 6th. Although his pitch count's fine. I mean, he's got a ways to go here.
Might have been a different story had Waldweiss had a couple of runners on base and then the pitcher spot coming up, but with nobody on, 2 outs, he's letting the pitcher hit for himself.
Parr's there, and how about Josh Colmenter? A very quick and efficient 1-2-3-6. We go bottom 6, 3-1 Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks and the Rockies. Brandon McCarthy on the mound for the D-backs. Juan Nicasio for Colorado. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock. Diamondbacks live pregame presented by Nissan. McCarthy and Nicasio tomorrow. Bottom 6, Diamondbacks will have Cody Ross, Will Nieves, and Josh Wilson up there. There's Brandon McCarthy, tomorrow's starter.
That'll be a rematch of the final game in Colorado. Brandon McCarthy went 6 innings, did give up 8 hits and 4 runs in that game, but the bullpen came through. Nicasio only went 4 1/3.
Cody's due to hit one out of here.
I like it.
He's due. He's singled and flied out. A little floater in there for a strike, 0-1. Cody on the year is 13 for 43 as a Diamondback. The Cody chant starting to come up from the crowd. Actually, I think it was just one guy.
Yeah.
Big Cody fan. And the reason I say he's due is his home run to fly ball ratio was 15% last season. That was his highest since 2007. It was only 9% the year before when he was with the Giants. 10% in 2010. So according to the schedule, we should get a home run here.
It's time. There's some good news on the injury front. I had a chance to talk to Adam Eaton before the ball game today. He is very optimistically hoping he can be back playing by May 9th, which is the beginning of a homestand against the Phillies and the Braves.
Wow, really?
I asked the skipper about it. Kirk Gibson's not quite as optimistic. He said, listen, when we get him back, we want to keep him back. We don't want to rush him back into the lineup, have him suffer another injury, and then lose him for an extended period of time. So I think maybe Adam Eaton's going to have to wait a little bit longer than May 9th.
And you remember what they did with Didi Gregorius. They were super overcautious with Didi and the little elbow injury he had when he showed up to camp. And they really did baby him back. And they erred on the side of caution. And now, as we've seen, he looks terrific. And hopefully the same will be the case with Adam Eaton. Because they said when he got hurt there in camp, they were fingers crossed. They said mid-May, maybe. And they were very, very careful with Didi, who had a similar type of injury. And we've seen that arm. We saw it on the road trip. He can sling it. And you want to see the same from Adam Eaton. So Cody's worked it back to 3-2. Here it is. Tulowitzki. One down here in the 6th. Don't forget, you come to a Diamondbacks game, you get some value items. Go to the value items concession area there, and you have your choice. And look at those prices. I mean, $1.50 for a hot dog. We were just in New York. What'd you pay? Like $8.50?
Yeah.
$9. We can get a jumbo pretzel, $3.50.
You can get a glass of milk for $1.50.
And you go to the other one and you get some cookies. Yes, you're on right now.
I didn't even know they sold milk at the ballpark.
Well,
you learn something every day.
It does a body good, Bob.
That's right.
Will Nieves is 2 for 2. Hello. Will had an RBI single back in the 2nd, single in the 4th. And he said, you know, when he knows he's going to start, it happens so rarely now with Miggy that catching all the time, that Will says, when I know I'm going to start him like a kid on Christmas morning. He really does get excited. He's all pumped up. A little too much so on that one, and it's 0-2. And he's had a busy night back there. Had a really good night defensively, sliding all over the place, keeping Trevor Cahill's stuff in front of him. Look out. Oh, there now our ball dude springing into action. Dave Budrewitz over there with a tremendous play. He's a first-time Golden Glover.
Wow.
D-backs fan since '98. Here's our man in right field. That's John Thorson.
Veteran.
Yeah, he looks like a veteran. He's poised, focused. 0-2. Will Nieves is 3 for 3.
Nice. I mean, he didn't let De La Rosa waste a pitch there. He tried to go up and away with a fastball, and Will says, I'll just tomahawk that one into right field. Well, what a great piece of defensive hitting right there. 3 for 3 on the evening.
There it is. I got you. There's Miggy. Hey. He's getting pipped.
Yep, Wally Pip.
Josh Wilson 0 for 2. You got a guy that Josh Wilson reminds you of batting stance wise?
We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Aaron Rowan, one of his many batting stances that he used during the course of his playing career, did something similar to this for a while when he was playing for the San Francisco Giants. Kind of leans back, very upright in that right-handed batter's box.
It's kind of like a very loose, waggly thing, which I believe is the scientific term for it.
Loose and waggly.
Yeah.
Aaron Rowan looked like a lot of Cubs fans on Waveland Avenue after a game.
After too many old styles?
Yeah. He just would lean back and forth, and just like he was going to go down any minute. Very loose and waggly.
Well, Baxter's up to no good again. Sneak it up behind him. Nieves on first with 1 out now. And a 2-0 count to Josh Wilson. And let's check the waggle. There it is. There's a strike, 2-1.
You know, and we talk about it all the time. It doesn't really matter what you do while that pitcher's just standing on the mound. But once he releases the ball, Josh gets a little bit of flex in his legs, gets the bat back into a good hitting position.
But he may be as far removed from Goldie as there is. I mean, Goldie's got it behind him, basically, pointing upside down. And then on the other end, there's Wilson, who's very straight up with the bat and just.
Gibby loves to turn his hitters loose. 3-0. Even Josh Wilson gets the green light. 3-0. Up chasing a bad pitch. That's the kind of swing on a 3-0 count that will get you the take sign next time you're in 3-0.
94 pitches for De La Rosa, 56 for strikes to this point. There is some action in the Rockies bullpen. 3-1 now. There goes Nieves. Hit and run is on. Fouled off.
Wow, what a jump by Will Nieves over there at first base. He just took off. All of De La Rosa's attention focused on home plate. None of it to first base and Will Nieves. But now he's going to have to be careful. Can't surprise them anymore. Yep. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
I saw what you did last time. I think Will just took that as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely. When catchers draw pickoff throws, or even better, if they pitch out while you're running the bases, well, that's as good as it gets.
Let's not get crazy. De La Rosa, they'll have a play at second. Tulowitzki, and they turn it. We're through 6. Diamondbacks lead at 3-1. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Here's what's next for the Rockies. EY Jr., Fowler, and Cargo, the top of the order in the 7th.
Brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Jack in the Box, the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax.
Set for the 7th. Diamondbacks about hit the Rockies 7-4. They lead it 3-1. Josh Colementor back out there for the second inning of work. Trying to get the bullpen the rest of the night off here after Trevor Cahill labored to get through 5. Young, Fowler, Cargo 1, 2, and 3 here in the 7th. UI Jr. singled in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, lined to center in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Do we have a good catch by the fan? We're trying to give away one of these contracts.
Dying to give away one of these contracts.
I mean, you get a lot of stuff, as we mentioned, and we have the power to hand these out as we see fit. And as we've already heard from Bob, he's a very, very tough scorer.
Tough but fair.
Yes, that's all we ask. So you got to earn it, but we're ready to hand these out. Just don't lean over any railings. That's all we ask. Leaning will disqualify you. It's amazing that Josh Colementor's fastball is so effective. He throws it 71% of the time. Average speed is 87. But it works.
It's just something that you rarely see. Somebody that is so directly over the top with his delivery. It's kind of the equivalent of a sidearm pitcher. Something you just don't see very often.
There we go.
Base hit to right. It gets down the line. EY Jr. with that speed will head for second. Here's the throw from Cody Ross. And he's in there. Leadoff double in the 7th here for the Rockies.
Pitch elevated in the middle of the plate. Got jammed just a little bit, but look at the speed of EY. Man, did he motor. I thought Cody Ross might have a chance. Eric Young Jr. just outran that throw.
He is really becoming a player. Red hot lately. Previous 8 games, he was hitting .351. And he's 2 for 4 tonight with a single and a double. Here's Fowler now. Singled his last time up. Well, you mentioned the look, Bob, that Colementor has, and that's one of the things Kevin Towers has talked a lot about. That in the construction of this bullpen, you've got guys who give you different looks, different arm angles. You've got Colementor, who's straight over the top. You've got Brad Ziegler, who comes up from under the ground almost. And you do get a different look every time a new D-backs reliever comes out there. It's not just a cookie cutter group. They all look the same. They throw different stuff from different angles. One-on-one.
And you'll see him miss across the top of the strike zone a lot, and that's by design. You get a real good look at that delivery. Straight over the top.
It looks like he's throwing a javelin at one point when he first gets it all cranked up there. The fastball will average 87. The change will average 77. Dexter Fowler, very streaky this season. First 6 games, he hit everything. 10 for 27 with 4 homers. Then cooled off. Next 11 games, he hit a .152. But now he's hot again. Last 3 games, 6 for 14.
Ooh.
Up and in. 2-2.
Good late reactions by Dexter Fowler. He almost walked into one right here. High, hard one right at his helmet. Just spins away at the last instant.
Great speed on the bases at second. Keep waiting for Josh to throw that changeup in there, but he keeps bringing the fastball. This is a spot where he, in spring training, was trying to get himself to throw the curveball, but he's not quite there with it yet. Struck him out.
There was a changeup you were waiting on. Well, he forces a hitter to speed up his bat with all those high fastballs, and just about the time that Will Nieves and Josh Colmenter think that Fowler's getting close to catching up to that high fastball, that's when you drop the changeup in there and had Fowler way out in front.
Carlos Gonzalez struck out, grounded out, and walked. 1 for 2. 0 for 2. He was the first strikeout victim of the night for Trevor Cahill. Cahill struck out 6 in the game. Fargo good numbers against Colmenter career. Three 3-0 now. Tulowitzki's on deck.
Dangerous pitch coming up for Josh Colmenter. You know Carlos Gonzalez has the green light to swing in any count, especially trailing by 2 runs with a runner on base.
There's a strike, 3-1. Baxter, as you don't read other people's texts, that's just rude. Oh, oh, oh. Strike 2, 3-2 now. Colmenter's worked it full. Outfield is back. Struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Josh Colmenter. 2 down here in the 7th.
Boy, what a great comeback, falling behind 3-0 to one of the most dangerous hitters in the National League right now, and finishes him off. Just rushed a high fastball right by him.
It's remarkable how effective that pitch is. Now, what do we do with Tulowitzki is the conversation. Tulo grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and walked in the 5th. Kadayer's on deck.
Tulowitzki 2 for 11 lifetime against Josh Colmenter. One of those hits was a home run. However, Josh has punched him out a couple times and induced a double play grounder. So kind of a mixed bag here.
Good pitch, 0-1.
Great start. Jump ahead in the count against any opposing hitter. Really allows you to expand that strike zone. For most pitchers, that means going off the outside corner, trying to get him to chase. For Josh Colmenter, that means it opens the upper part of the strike zone or above it, and the lower part below the knees. He's more of a vertical guy than a horizontal pitcher.
Colmenter ahead now, 0-2. Tulowitzki 7 for his last 24. That includes 3 home runs and 6 RBI. Sharing headphones. Probably listen to the Governor. Greg Schulte. Oh, Jeff Moneyball's on the call tonight. Governor has the night off at his palatial estate, relaxing.
At the Governor's mansion?
The Governor's mansion, exactly. The staff waiting on him hand and foot.
Go, ball.
Right center. Pollock on the run. It's off the base of the wall and lays there. Young scores. RBI double for Tulowitzki. It's a 1-run game.
Fourth double of the year for Troy Tulowitzki. Pretty good approach that time. He just stayed on the ball, hit it to the opposite field. A lot of times guys will face the challenge of Josh Colmenter and try to muscle up and pull that high fastball. That time Troy Tulowitzki just stayed on it, hit it to the opposite field.
That was like a golf shot that just plugged in a bunker when it hit that padding out there. So here's Kadire. He has doubled and struck out twice. 1 for 3. Center field, A.J. Pollock backing up at the track. He's under it, and he makes the catch. The Rockies get one, but Colmenter strands the tying run. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th now, 3-2 Diamondbacks. Rockies are back in town after a 9-game, 10-day road trip. We're back, and so's Joe Borowski. Joe, it just seems Trevor Cahill once again just could not get comfortable out there.
It seemed as if he was struggling with his release point all game. There were times where he was perfect with it, but a lot of times, especially going away to righties, he just couldn't find that release point on a consistent basis.
We've only seen him do it really one game all year, that great start he had against the Dodgers here. Other than that, he just labors all the time and seems like he just doesn't know where it's going.
And it's a shame because his ball moves so much, and I guess maybe he's trying to manipulate it a little bit more than he normally does. Maybe that's why he's got the inconsistency with his release point, but I'd like to see him just start it right down the middle and just let it go wherever it's going to go.
Is this a case of maybe tonight effectively wild, a term we hear all the time?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times when you can't let the hitter get comfortable in a box, but you're around the strike zone enough to get out of trouble that you cause for yourself, you're not going to last very long like he did, and he ran up his pitch count very early in this game, but he did keep the Diamondbacks within a good margin to win this game.
Egmar Escalona, the new pitcher for the Rockies. Jorge De La Rosa's night is over. He'll face Pennington, the pitcher spot, and A.J. Pollock. 8-9-1 here in the D-backs 7th. Pollock 0 for 2 so far. Colementer's on deck. Pennington is 0 for 2 so far. And this is clearly now, this was the mission here. Give these guys a night off because, Joe, they need it. They're worn out on that road trip.
They really did. They worked a lot on that road trip. And Josh, I think he's a perfect complement to come in after Cahill because Cahill's ball's moving all over the place. Josh comes in, he's straight over the top, straight as an arrow. But like you guys were talking, it is not an easy pitch to hit.
And now this is remarkable in a sense that it's a one-run game in the 7th inning, and the pitcher's going to hit here just so the rest of the bullpen can relax a bit. That's how valuable this game is. They need a break.
And the big key to it is with not many off days on a long stretch, and the bullpen being extended for a long period of time on that road trip, you have to have somebody go out there and just eat up some innings.
Every game they pitched on that road trip, Joe, and I know you were watching, every situation was a high leverage situation. It was a one-run game in the 8th or 9th. There were guys on base. I mean, what's it like to pitch those innings rather than just some normal inning when you're out there with a 2 or 3 run lead?
And that's the biggest thing with your bullpen is how many times were they up during the game before they got in? There's a lot of things that come in, and when you're pitching in high pressure situations, you're going full board. You're just full out. It's not like you're going out there and you're cruising, you got a 6-run lead, you're just throwing strikes. Every pitch counts when you're out there in those tight games.
Yeah, J.J. Putz, in fact, had mentioned that. It's like, you know, hey, I was warming up almost every game on this trip because all the games were that close. And it looked like he may have to come in, and often did. Here's Colementer now. He'll get a chance to take some cuts. Now, for a reliever, this is, I know Josh starts sometimes, but for a reliever, this has got to be like winning the lottery, right? Get up there and actually get the hit.
I know I didn't like doing it. Put it that way. I did not appreciate going up there, and it's not as easy as you might think. It's coming in there a lot quicker than it appears on TV.
Talk about not feeling comfortable out there.
We'd like to say Josh was trying to shoot that ball through the right side of the infield, but in fact he was just really late with that swing.
Well, he's got great power the other way. That's going to be the sell. Here's A.J. Pollock. A.J. 0 for 3 tonight. 1 for 5 yesterday against the Giants. That big RBI single in the 8th off Madison Bumgarner that tied it at 1. Joe, what were your impressions from the long trip watching from home?
I always thought it was very tough whenever you're going coast to coast like they did. That was not an easy road trip, and oftentimes you'd hear players say, if we can go 500 on this West Coast trip or East Coast trip, we'll be happy with it. Unfortunately for Diamondbacks, they had a chance to 6-3, possibly 7-2.
Yep.
That's what makes it all the much harder to swallow. But it's tough when you're playing tight games like that. The emphasis is on your bullpen, and when you have a couple guys that and it wasn't like they were giving up hits and walks all over the place. It was one pitch, unfortunately, in a situation where you couldn't have that happen, and that's what gets magnified as much as anything.
And the way that they came back, I mean, after watching wins go away with a couple of blown saves, and yet coming back to win those games in places like Yankee Stadium and in an environment like AT&T Park in San Francisco, to come back after watching the win go away and then get it back and leave with it, I thought was extremely impressive.
Shows you the resiliency of this team, because a lot of times that's the most deflating thing that can happen was when you blow a late lead. And for this team to stay in, and just shows you the character. They're 5-0 in extra inning games this year. They never give up, which is a great characteristic to have for your team.
Yeah, so when you look at with all the injuries and the blown saves and everything, and it going, as you mentioned, to New York and then ended up in San Francisco, that's a really, really good 4 and 5.
Yeah, when you take into consideration all the circumstances, the guys that are missing from the lineup, very key guys missing from the lineup to stroll through those 3 cities. The Rockies are always tough at Coors Field. The Giants are always tough at home, and the Yankees are the Yankees. So, yeah, you would have liked to have seen it be a little bit better, but you're going to have to take that one.
AJ strikes out. That's the 7th. Joe, thanks very much. We'll look for you on Diamondbacks postgame live.
Getting ready for it.
8th inning on the way. D-backs lead at 3-2. Next week, San Fran comes to Chase Field for a critical 3-game set starting on Monday. And you can save $20 on a ticket. Just follow @DBacks on the Twitter or like the D-backs on Facebook. When you do, you'll learn how to save $20 on every ticket you buy for the series. That's a great deal. Follow @DBacks on Twitter or like the D-backs on Facebook. 8th inning now. Josh Colemanter holding a 3-2 lead here. He'll face Ryan Wheeler, Josh Rutledge, and Yorvit Torrealba. 6, 7, and 8 in the Rockies' 8th. Wheeler in his Rockies debut has doubled, struck out, and grounded out. He's 1 for 3. Nice way to start this homestand with a W here. Left field, Parra.
One of these days we'll have a ha laugher. I don't know. The last game against that Pittsburgh series when A.J. Pollock went off, I think that game was 10-2.
Yeah, that was a day game. I was here for that. No TV. We had the day off, so it's come and hung out at the ballpark. Pollock hit 2 home runs. Yeah.
The middle game in Milwaukee was a 9-2 D-backs victory, but just about every other game has been a nail biter.
It is remarkable how close these games have been. And it's a big reason why Arizona starting pitchers are winless in their last 11 starts, but have generally pitched well, a collective 3.09 ERA. It's all the close games, and that's why the bullpen is so exhausted here. It's bullpens late that win it or lose it, and 15 of the Diamondbacks' 21 games have been decided by 2 or fewer runs. That'll wear out your bullpen. And your announcers, frankly. Because every game has been, it's been a tremendous watch. And then we're watching things that Didi Gregorius does, who I thought won 2 games, Bob, on that trip with his base running. 2 games they won because of Didi's aggressiveness on the bases.
Aggressiveness and anticipation. Playing well beyond his years.
He has been absolutely electric. But not in the lineup today against the left-hand starter. Cole Mentor now at 35 pitches, 23 for strikes. You know, and Kirk Gibson said about Cole Mentor, sometimes you can paint yourself into the corner by what you've done and how they see you doing it. And he was talking about Cole Mentor's role here on this staff as the swing man, the long man, the spot starter, what have you. His value has been enormous. In fact, too valuable back there to be included in the rotation. And there's depth in the rotation anyway, so they're able to take advantage of Josh's ability here. And Cole Mentor has said before, yeah, sure, I'd like to start. But you know what? He's kind of now dialed into the little adrenaline rush when the bullpen phone rings. And it's kind of an alarm for Josh, and that gets him going. And he says that's something you don't get when you're starting. It's all the anticipation and the waiting between days. But you come to the ballpark every day, you never know. And you're back there, the phone rings, and, ooh, this could be me. He says he's kind of digging it. Colorado bullpen. Double-barreled action. Wilton Lopez and Rex Brothers up.
I think back to the early 2000s, Miguel Batista filled a similar role. Completely different style of pitcher, but Miggy was a guy you could plug in if you needed a starter, if you needed a long reliever, if you needed a matchup guy late in the game. He could do anything you needed.
And it's funny, for the Giants on their run last year, Tim Lincecum, I mean, how valuable was Lincecum in that role? He was tremendous. He was a shutdown guy in the middle innings. So if you have a guy like Josh who's comfortable in that role and can do well and respond to it, it's a terrific, terrific advantage. Tell you what, Josh Rutledge is having himself an at-bat here. Number 10 on the way. He's grounded out, flied out, and walked.
There was the curveball. Just break it out every so often to show it to the opposing hitters. That one got away from him, however.
This is the one he said he was working on in spring training. In fact, he talked to the catchers and he put down the curveball. Make me throw it. I want to get used to it. And it just hasn't quite got there yet. Struck him out. Third strikeout of the game for Josh Cole Mentor. Let's check the results of the AT&T Twitter poll question. Hey, what's the first thing you do when you're back from a long trip? Well, 38% say laundry. And that, the laundry in the house was done. As soon as the bag opened up, 9 days worth went right in. Some people like to address car or computer issues when they get home. Other people, laundry.
Yeah. I'm going to put my computer in the washing machine.
Torrey Alba. A.J. Pollock. Second inning here. 1, 2, 3. 3 up, 3 down for Josh Cole Mentor. He's got 1, 2, 3 innings in 2 of 3 so far. And CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Due up, Goldie. He's already hit a monster home run tonight. 10 and 14. You want to call the game with Bob and I, then come out this Sunday to Chase Field for Fox Sports Arizona and Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions. What you do is you go to the Sandlot between 11:30 and 1:30 before the D-backs game against the Rockies. And you know, we'll have some auditions and we'll let you know. You could end up here with Bob Brenly and myself doing the game. And I've decided, by the way, Bob, that when we do the Kidcaster, this isn't going to just be, you know, hey, come and see the booth, a little tour, a little glad handing. No. You're going to get in here. You're going to get dirty. You're going to do some play-by-play.
Read some promos.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be, this is the full deal here. So that's coming up. And we hope to see you in the booth. Wilton Lopez is on the mound. Took the loss at a blown save versus the Diamondbacks back on the 21st. Prior to that, had 3 straight scoreless outings. Parra, Prado, and Goldie, 2, 3, and 4. 0-1. And after all these blown saves and all we did, we talk about the bullpen and what a great job Josh Colemanter has done at J.J. Putz, ready to get right back on the horse. And you may see J.J. here in the 9th. And the sooner that we can get J.J. going again, the better. Hard to right. Powers aboard. They'll stop at first. He's been on base 4 times, 2 singles and 2 walks. Gerardo Parra.
Wow, that ball was spanked toward the right field corner. Only the great speed of Eric Young Jr. kept that from being extra bases.
And Gerardo was ready too. He was looking.
He's always looking to take an extra 90 feet.
Leadoff man on in the 8th. Here's Martin Prado. He has singled and walked. Also hit into a double play. Now is this the standard Prado hit it to right?
That's where the hole in the defense is, and that's normally where he looks to hit the ball. Where's the weakness in the defense? It has to be tempting to play hit and run.
Center field, Fowler. There goes Parra. He's going to tag up, deep fly to center. And he's in there. Rutledge dropped the ball. We've seen that a few times this season. First to second on deep fly balls to center field. Prado got thrown out there on the trip, and now Parra's in there.
He reads that fly ball to center. As soon as he sees Fowler square up underneath the ball, he goes back to tag. Right here, he's watching the throw to see whether he needs to slide or not. He just got around the tag. Rutledge dropped it kind of after the fact.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
Never did touch him. Maybe up on the upper body there, but by the time he did, I think he dropped the ball. Let's see. Does he touch him or not? I don't think he gets him. Maybe on the hand, and then he dropped it.
Yeah, Rutledge did Parra a favor by going as far out away from the bag at second as he did. He stays right on the base and lets that ball come to him. Gerardo Parra had nowhere to go, but because he went out there, it gave Parra a window to slide around the backside.
Paul Goldschmidt had a mammoth 2-run home run off the top of the left field foul pole back in the 4th. High in the air to right. Eli Jr. is under it. We mentioned the Paul Goldschmidt home run back in the 4th inning. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game.
Boom. That's where the big guys hit him.
Clank. Paul Goldschmidt's 5th home run of the year. Our Chaz Roberts cool play of the game.
Well, you knew who had a great view of that home run were the Diamondbacks relievers down there in the bullpen looking straight up that foul pole when that thing hit.
Cody Ross 1 for 3. Yeah, look how high up that is.
Oh,
I mean, he hit off the top of the one. Cody single back in the second. Out of play. See if we get a good catch. No. That guy had some room to work with, too. He was looking at a potential contract. You've got to, anytime fundamentally you've got an open aisle like that, you're going to get room to maneuver.
Yeah.
And you're expected, frankly, to make the catch. But the guy's a Twins fan, and things are tough right now. So
he's been in the snow for the last 8 months. Well, I hear the other day the Twins had only played 4 games in the last 9 days.
Yeah,
wow,
it's been rough. And we're determined to give out one of these contracts. We've got off to a slow start this year. So let's see some defense in the seats. One and one to Cody. Good pitch.
Yeah, Wilton Lopez is a little similar to Josh Colmenter. Obviously not the same arm angle, but he's basically a fastball changeup guy. He does throw an occasional slider to a right-handed hitter, but if you're a guess hitter, you've got a 50-50 chance. Either a fastball or a changeup.
Cody, big 10th inning double yesterday in San Francisco after Paul Goldschmidt had walked. Yeah, Cody was getting booed by the Giants fans. How quickly they forget. Helped set up what proved to be the winning run when Goldie scored on Will Nieves' sac fly. Nieves is 3 for 3 tonight, 3 singles. 3-2 to Cody Ross, and Will Nieves is on deck. Cody had a big trip, hit .324 in the 9 games, 12 for 37 with 5 RBI. Nieves 3 singles tonight, including an RBI single back in the second inning, game's first run. Struck him out looking. Diamondbacks get a run aboard. They leave one. J.J. Putz coming on with a 1-run lead in the 9th. All-star out of the bullpen, Josh Colmenter. 3 innings of 2-hit ball. He had 3 strikeouts.
Big time performance tonight by Josh Colmenter when his team needed it the most. The bullpen could sure use a blow today, and Josh came in and ate up 3 innings, gave up only 2 base hits. Outstanding performance tonight.
So with a 3-2 lead, J.J. puts us on here in the 9th, and if you've watched Diamondbacks baseball here with us, you know J.J. has struggled. 3 blown saves, and while the team did a superb job of picking up the closer and coming back to win some of those games, it's clear that J.J.'s split-finger fastball has been hanging more than it's been splitting. It is right now a work in progress.
Well, the good news is J.J.'s been really good here at home in his 4 games here at Chase Field. He's yet to allow an earned run and only surrendered 1 base hit in 4 innings of work.
Willeen Rosario will hit for the pitcher here. Rosario, Young, and Fowler, 9-1-2 in the Rocky 9th. J.J. on the 9-game trip, a home run allowed to Francisco Cervelli in New York in the 9th, a splitter that he called basically a BP fastball. Then another to Brandon Belt in San Francisco Tuesday after he'd thrown 2 fastballs right by him. Trying to get the splitter back working here. Kurt Gibson said the issue with J.J. right now is only location, and that Putz was going to try and clean some stuff up. Gibby said J.J.'s command right now not as good as it's been in the past. And at this point in his career, it's more about location than power. Earlier today, J.J. was out there with Charles Nagy and Mike Fetters working on some stuff. He was watching some video, some old video of the Mariners days. Everybody trying to come up with a solution. Behind here, 2-0 to Willeen Rosario. Fouled away.
I think the same thing could be said for David Hernandez out of the Diamondbacks bullpen. His stuff has been really good. It's just his command has been spotty at times, making mistakes right over the heart of the plate. You just like to think that with additional work or maybe a little bit of rest and then some more work, they'll be able to find that zone or the edges of the zone more consistently, keep that ball out of the middle of the plate.
Didn't get the call there, 3-1.
And you see 95 on that last fastball. A little extra zip from J.J. tonight, but just off the outside corner.
And you know that he can find it. He started off like this last season, but then converted 19 straight save opportunities from late May through August. Pennington, it's short. Long throw across his body, 1 away. Cliff Pennington has played outstanding shortstop all season long.
Might have had enough time to plant his foot and throw with the catcher Rosario running. As it is, he gets him by 2.5 steps at first base. Strong throw on the move from Cliff Pennington.
Eric Young Jr., 2 for 4, singled in the first, doubled and scored in the 7th. From June 23rd through the end of last season, J.J. Putz at an ERA of .84. Over his final 46 games last year, he did not allow a home run. So once he gets it going again, he's a shutdown closer. Chop foul, left-hand side. Back here tomorrow night. Once again, we got a 1-run Diamondback game here in the 9th, so you got to get on board and check this team out. Upcoming Chevron matchup tomorrow. Brandon McCarthy and Juan Nicasio. This is what we needed, Bob. Another 1-run game in the 9th. Home or away, doesn't matter. Diamondback baseball, it goes right down to the wire every time. J.J. was asked about what had not been working so far this year, and as usual, he was forthright, answered every question. Pointed out that on the road trip, every game, as we've said, essentially a 1-run game in the 9th or extra innings, that he was up a lot, and that's part of it. But he did say, look, just going through a rough patch. I've been there before, and I'll get over it.
I haven't ever heard J.J. talk about his mechanics. He seems to be very consistent, looks very Looks exactly like the way he threw the ball last year.
High in the air, left side. Parra wants it. 2 up, 2 down for JJ here in the ninth. Dexter Fowler struck out his last time up. He's singled back in the 5th. He's 1 for 4. This is the guy you want to get here with Cargo and Tulo up next. Oh, and 2. Trevor Cahill in line for the win. The last time a Diamondback starting pitcher recorded a win, Patrick Corbin 11 games ago against the Dodgers. JJ puts a strike away. Crowd coming alive here at Chase. Here's the 0-2. Two and 2. Kerwin Danley says ball. Whew, that's a great location right there. Three and 2. Gonzalez on deck. Cargo 0 for 3. He's walked and struck out twice. 3 and 2 to Dexter Fowler. Ball 4. 2 out base runner for the Rockies.
Really good movement on this splitter, but unfortunately just off the outside corner after throwing strike 3 2 pitches earlier.
So the tying run aboard with 2 outs here in the ninth. That's what it's like, Mickey, to watch these games every day. Diamondback drama. Here's Cargo. Struck out his last time up.
Now, Walt Weiss is not afraid to start a runner. Even with 2 outs in the 9th inning and one of the best hitters in the National League at the plate. Willeen Rosario got thrown out in that series against Atlanta to end the ball game at Coors Field. Dexter Fowler runs a lot better than Willeen Rosario.
Here's the strike, 1-1.
Remember, Fowler got clipped on the outside of the right knee back in the third inning. Doesn't seem to be showing any ill effects of that at all.
One and two.
Some nasty sink on that splitter tonight.
That's the pitch that he had left up to Cervelli. That was perfect. 1 and 2 now. Don't want to give that potential tying run the extra 90 feet if he can help it. There goes Fowler. Got him! Thunderstruck. Diamondbacks win it. Diamondbacks have won 4 of their last 5, and JJ shuts the door.
Well, even better news, JJ has found his splitter again. Those last couple pitches to Carlos Gonzalez were nasty.
And once again, Diamondback drama. And suddenly this team has been scuffling offensively. The bullpen's exhausted, blowing saves from time to time, but they get a 3-2 win here. JJ finds the split again, and suddenly, Bob, they've won 4 or 5.
And they have to be feeling pretty good about themselves the way they bounced back at the end of that road trip, taking the first game of the homestand here. What a job by Josh Colmentor tonight. Can't say enough about the job the right-hander did coming in out of the bullpen, eating up 3 innings of this game, giving that bullpen a rest until JJ could come in and give the Rockies a rest.
They salvaged the finale at Yankee Stadium. They salvaged the finale at Coors. They won 2 of 3 in San Francisco, and they open a 7-game homestand with a solid 3-2 win over the Rockies, and JJ Putz picks up the save. Time for Diamondbacks Live postgame. Jody Jackson and Joe Borowski out in center field. Jody.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve.